Well, today I am dressing up my wiring harness for my starter, and I've got it out here right now. I've already started working on it. Here's the harness. We'll talk about that in a minute. And this is just where it terminates down into the bulkhead panel right down there and goes into the interior of the vehicle. So I'm working on this today. One of my videos you've seen that it was just a big wreck right here, and I've gone ahead and trimmed out and actually deleted one of these. It was in here, came out this way, and it went to AC, air conditioning, which I'm not using, so I got rid of that. But I'm keeping this nifty fitting. I really like these. This thing's old. This is a 1981 El Camino, and this came out of the factory on this El Camino, so I'll try to reuse this if I can, only because I like to have clean wiring and application. So here's the old harness that was basically connected here. These right here are like fusible links. I'm taking these out. I don't care. When you look at the GM drawings for the 1981 El Camino and other vehicles, they call these thermal wires. But I'm taking these out because I just don't care. Who needs them? So I got this bright idea that I was gonna trim these and just put some quick disconnects on these, and I'm going to do that. Then use this over and make a patch that looks something like this, right? And I'll get it all squared away, but those wires will pop out at the top there. I'll shrink tube everything. I'll have quick disconnect spade fittings, and from the starter up I will make a pigtail that'll come up from the starter up along the firewall and plug into these. It's just going to be easier for me. If anyone has ever tried to hang a starter and keep the wires organized with headers in the way, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know I probably should have put the starter in beforehand, but I just like doing it this way. So anyway, this harness will end up coming over this way. And I'll utilize that bracket right there, right back on the firewall. And right here is where I'll have my quick disconnect or spade fittings going down to the starter. And this will be all organized and nice and tight. I'll reuse some more of this awesome black tube that everybody loves using. Right, it's the best thing ever, right? Not. And this is where it'll terminate here onto the alternator. I should have good luck there. I don't see why not. I'll show you down below. Happy starter. It's happy starter world. So here's my happy starter. It's a happy starter. It's new. Let's see if I can creep in there and get a picture of the terminals. And there they are right there. Pretty simple. The big one is going to be for those wires that I was just showing ya. And the little one at the top there, top left, can't really point at it because my finger is way over here on the other side of the header, is for the solenoid 12 volt. It should be pretty easy. And the wires that I'm going to run from this starter up to the harness will be covered in some heat shield that I've got on the way. I've got some heat shield on the way to protect it from these headers. I'll just try to figure out a good way to route it, probably up through the firewall here. I like it nice and clean. These starter bolts are just temporary. These came from somewhere on one of the engines that I took apart. These aren't real starter bolts. They're not shouldered, but they are the correct thread pitch just to hold this in here so I can tack these wires in place and get it situated. Yeah. So, another thing. There's my 72 El Camino. Working on this one too. Bam! One day I'll finish it. One day. This thing has been at the racetrack many times, but it hasn't been there for a few years. Another thing that I wanted to mention is when you're wiring, get some good wire. I wanted to talk about CCA wire, and this is the only piece I could find, but it's called CCA, copper clad aluminum. So I don't recommend you buying the CCA, copper clad aluminum, especially if you're doing like boat trailers, but any little moisture in here causes rapid corrosion. And I consider this a temporary wire, just like in an emergency. I'll use this junk. If you look real close, you can see it's copper and aluminum. So they take aluminum wire and clad it with copper. It's really lightweight. You'll see this on a lot of products that you buy. So I went ahead and I just bought a whole bunch of this stuff. And this is really heavy duty. It's like 99% copper, oxygen free, whatever. But you can get this online. And yeah, I got all the pretty colors. And I'm mainly using this red, of course, and this black. Probably some of this. But other than that, I'm gonna have wire for days. Gonna have a lot of this. All these little clamps. And get yourself some hand tools for cutting your wires. And I also kept the old wires that I trimmed off just so I would remember what I trimmed off. And I like to heat shrink stuff, so I got me one of these nifty things, just like a self-starter. Woo! Playing with fire, baby. Yeah. You do what you want, but this is the way I do it. And I like to try to stay organized when I'm playing around with pretty much anything. So I'm really just waiting on the Holly system to show up, the computer system, so I can start plugging and playing this LM7 LS engine. Found out that LS means luxury sedan. I guess everybody, including myself, thought it was some bad to the bone initials, some bad to the bone, sweet, hard ass name. It just means a luxury sedan. So I have a luxury sedan engine. I'm so happy. Oh, here's my 81. Finally got a decent shifter put in it, cleaned it up. That's all installed. All right, have a good one.